Two matches gone, two left in the Women's T20 Challenge. Our internet is notwithstanding perhaps the popularity or our excitement of wanting to come live for the preview of this game on Avnir Presents the Outside View part by WTF Sports. Alongside me is Ananya. It's a different venue for me. And as always, we have Gouher Sultana with us as well. Supernovas in this kind of decider that decides which of these two sides progress to the finals to be played on Monday, have won the toss and are going to bat first. Gouher, your views first on the toss and the call. Are you happy with what Harmanpreet Kaur has decided?
Well, I think it's a must-win game for them. So I don't. I think Herman would want to set a target and plan accordingly. Have her maybe she has her batting lineup set up for this game. I think she has one change in her 11, having Anuja Patil come in place of Pooja Vastrikar. I think she would want Atapattu and herself to get going the way they did in the first game, and she would be expecting Jemima to get Ranjana Kitty before and with this game and before they go into the final. So I think it's a good decision to bat first.
She's Harman's bolstered the spin attack by including Anuja Patil instead of Pooja Vastrikar. What's your take? Is it a good call? Because remember, Trailblazers are a side heavily packed with spinners, I should say, because there's just one Jhulan Goswami if you talk about seam option. And it seems as if Harman has played it right in the hands of Trailblazer by giving them the chance to bowl first.
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure about that. I think both sides are slightly spin dominant. Of course, Supernovas have the extra seamer in Selman and Kaka, but I mean, if you think about the dew factor, probably. But I think in the first game, after the first game, both captains said there was a little bit of dew, but not as much as they expected. So maybe Herman thinks that dew will not be as much of a factor, and that her spinners, because they bowled second in the first game, will be used to it. So I'm not sure. It's a pressure game. It's a must-win game, and maybe they just feel more comfortable having runs on the board.
We keep coming back to this about the format, about the little time it gives the players to show what they are capable of. And Gouher, Anuja Patil has this one game again, provided that, if they don't qualify for the final Supernovas, she has this one game to show what she is capable of on the big stage. Because remember, the eyeballs that the Women's T20 Challenge is garnering. So is that pressure, however experienced the player might be?
I guess Anuja Patil is a kind of player she doesn't take the pressure. She's a street smart cricketer. She's very confident about her skills and her abilities, and I think probably she was waiting for this opportunity because she's a very experienced campaigner. She's played a lot of T20 cricket for India, and she's bowled in a pressure situation. She's batted. She's got those quick runs, and she's a very cheeky customer, when she's batting. So I think it's going to help Supernovas and Anuja Patil to come good in this game under pressure. She's kind of player who performs under pressure, and she's a kind of bowler who you can use it in her with the new ball or in the middle overs and in the death over. Considering the last game when Supernovas bowled in the death, I think the spinners were a little expensive than Harman would have expected them to be. So I think Anuja is going to help Harman in that case.
Yeah, the experience factor in terms of captaincy perhaps might be helpful for Harman. But remember, Pooja Vastrikar, she played the T20 World Cup, but she was in this squad. She didn't get game time. This was one tournament where she was kind of she could have showcased her big hitting skills, bowling as well. She got a two ball duck in the first match. Do you think, however, how much ever less it might have counted? Do you think that's something that is counted against her in this case?
Well, I think if you look at the first game, I think Supernovas kind of wanted to bolster their bowling. Pooja Harman has never really looked like she has a lot of confidence in Pooja, even when she was playing in the T20 squad last year against South Africa. She wasn't really keen on giving her too many overs, so that's probably something that counted against her. I know within the Indian fraternity they really like what Pooja brings as a batter, and that power in the lower middle order is something that has allowed her to break into the 11. But I think they're not quite confident about her power as a bowler. So I think Harman was probably wanting to bolster that bowling unit, and that's exactly what she did, bringing in Anuja, bringing in she's a different spinner in the Supernovas lineup, and I think that's something that, like Gouher said, she can bowl with a new ball. She's very smart. She bowls at the death as well, and that's something that I think they just wanted to bolster that bowling lineup.
Let's talk a bit more about last point about supernovas before we look at trailblazers. What's can we do? Is there a debate? Let's say in terms of batting order here, Gauhar, because last time we were kind of divided on where or when should Pooja Vastrakar come in, but now minus Pooja Vastrakar, is that the top six? Is the top six the way list it looks right now? Is that the way you expect it to come, and is that the way it should come, Gauhar?
I guess on opening, they won't be changing the openers. Of course, Priya Punya could not get going the last game, but probably the number four until number four, I think it's going to be the same. And then it depends on what kind of situation they are in after, no, they fall like 3 wickets of Supernovas. Then maybe they could just get Sirivardhane, promote Sirivardhane up the order a bit because. Especially when they have overs left because the way she's played in the last game run a ball, I think it is fair to promote her maybe a position or two, and especially when there are overs left for her to settle in and then rotate she's a good striker of the ball. She rotates very well. She's a good runner between the wickets. I think then maybe Anuja Patil can follow after Sirivardhane.
Let's quickly look through the Trailblazers lineup. Their bowlers might be quite happy with what they are looking at. Lineup, a batting lineup minus Vastrakar, a player who can have a great impact, especially considering that the side is loaded with a lot of spinners. But remember, in the last match, also Trailblazers bowled first, and 47 all out is for everyone to know. So, one, what's the confidence level they might have after that game? And two, the confidence level minus to bowl at a lineup minus Vastrakar.
Well, I think they'll definitely go into this game with a lot of confidence. They all bowled very well, even though they all didn't get an equal opportunity to bowl because of the damage that Eccleston and Hulan Goswami had done early on. But I think they'll definitely carry that confidence of having a few overs under their belt and a few quiet overs under their belt as well. So in terms of whether not having Pooja in the lineup probably helps Trailblazers. I suppose without that power in the lower middle order, they will you know be wary of the top four, and they will know that if they get out Atapattu and Harmanpreet Kaur, that there is less power in the lower middle order, and so they will probably be able to control the scoring rate a little more. But I think they'll realize that this is a new game, a new match, and a new wicket as well. So it's all very different. They're going to start from zero, and they have a very experienced bowling lineup, so they'll know how to go about their business today.
Tell me this thing. Herman, we all know, likes to chase. She's kind of being built. I mean, not being built, but she has built her reputation as being a finisher, where she's always calm, and even though she's a feisty character in herself. But what's the thought process behind bowling first? Batting first here, because again, we always talk about you being present in the night games.
Well, I think it's a pressure game. I think in India we've always been brought up with the sense that if it's a pressure game, bat first, you have runs on the board, put pressure on the opposition. And in women's cricket, I think it's still the case of when that required run rate moves above 6 or 7, the pressure starts building. If you've lost a couple of wickets, it becomes difficult for that middle order because again, there's not much experience there, and they're very top reliant on their top orders. So they probably don't want to put too much pressure on the top order and say, just go out there, score as many runs as you can, and they've got a very good bowling lineup. So I think they're backing their bowlers to defend it.
Gouher, you are quite experienced, having played a lot of cricket yourself. Tell me about the mindset of, and even an experienced campaigner like Harmanpreet Kaur going into a pressure game. Because remember, Trailblazers are quiet. I mean, they are sitting comfortably because they have won a game. So a loss might probably not directly affect them. In fact, it might benefit. I mean, it won't affect them because they had a big win under their belt. But it's Supernovas essentially who are quite under pressure. So what could be the mindset of Harman leading into this game and the entire unit as a result?
Yeah, I mean, a must-win game is always an added pressure to the captain or all the players. But if you look at it in positive, with a positive frame of mind, I think they will take it as an opportunity to, come back and win this game because if they win this game, they have another game in case of net run rate and all that. But they have another game and it's a big final. And remember, they have won the last edition. So Harman will take it in will have to take it in a very positive way that they get another opportunity to play another game and retain that trophy and hunt for it. I think of course there will be pressure, but it will also get the best out of her and she'll just might get the take the team through.
Net run rate is something you mentioned, and in our earlier chat, you had said that that's one word or that's one number that you players dread actually. So having said that, let's move quickly to our predictions. You're wearing pink, Gouher. Does that say anything about where your
I am backing the
inclination?
pink. I'm backing the pink team, Trailblazers today, and I'm sure you are also because you're wearing the same color almost.
I'm always neutral. But tell me, what's your expectation of batter of the innings, bowler of the innings, and what's the range of score you're looking at?
I guess, as I told, it will again be Chammari Attapattu because, but she's also up against the bowlers who are high on confidence after that huge sensational performance from both the opening. I mean, like even in case they open today. So I think they're going to be. She's going to be up against very confident bowlers, and she's the kind of player who likes to get going, and she will not she will back herself to play her shots. So I think it's going to be Chamaria Tapatu for me, and Sophie Cliston, of course,
Playing
again.
safe for backing your fellow left arm spinner, it seems. I'll take that
Given
invisible
her
cap
the reason.
and put it on your head and ask, what's your prediction?
Since Gouher won the previous 2 rounds, I'm going to back her and say I'm definitely Sophia Kilson as the bowler. I I'm I think Shamari Atapattu, since she got the hang of how to play on this surface, will do well. But just to take a different path, I'm going to say Jamima should have an impact in this.
Jemima, Sophie Eccleston, Chamari Attapattu, these are the names that we've got here. But let's see what happens. Supernovas, of course, are batting first. We'll catch you in the mid innings break, and hopefully, I'll be in my hometown, not like this Women's T20 Challenge in the UAE. See you then on the mid match show on Avnir Presents The Outside View, powered by WTF Sports.